everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar on Supercharge Your Medical Record Review. My name is Jesselda and I'm the Assistant Manager for the Voice team at Neural IT. Neural IT pioneers in offering medical legal, voice, and IT services for personal injury, medical malpractice, and mass tort law firms. Just a note before we get started, if you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the question box into your GoToWebinar control panel. We will have them answered during the Q&A session scheduled at the end. We also have with us our subject matter expert, Dr. Amruta, who will also help us answer the questions when needed. If you know anyone who was unable to join us, we would request you to make a note of their email in the chat box marking Neural IT. We will soon send an email with a recorded version of this webinar, Neural IT rate chart, and a medical review samples to all the registered attendees. Now, without further ado, I shall introduce our speaker, Ms. Mary Uppanni, Business Development Manager at Neural IT. She has a decent expertise as Business Development Manager. Her deep passion for work involves interacting with her privileged clients, which in turn inspired her to be an integral part of this informative webinar. Over to you, Ms. Mary Uppanni.
Thank you, Jesselda, and a warm welcome to all the attendees to our today's webinar, Supercharge Your Medical Records. Thank you for taking your time and being a part of our today's webinar. One of the most important factors or most important thing in an attorney-client relationship is what we all know is a good communication, being transparent and knowing everything about the plaintiff, what has happened. So a good communication, we all know, is very important. A good or a dependable medical malpractice lawyer can always make sure that he has all the information that is required and he has a clear understanding of what the situation or what are the details that is provided to him. Now, why is a good communication important between a client and an attorney, or why it is, why does a good or a dependable lawyer needs to make sure that he understands all these details? Because your chances of winning or the percentage of winning a particular case by a legal consultant is always depending upon how you understand the information from the client. It is one of the most vital, like it says that excellent interaction between a lawyer or an attorney and its client is one of the most vital things in winning a case. Whenever we talk about medical records, I always, there's one quote that always, that has always, come to my mind by Miss Susan, who is an attorney in the United States. And she says that, as a nurse, I am the patient's advocate, and as a medical malpractice attorney, I am also or still a patient's advocate, but in a different area and a different profession. Now, what is the importance of medical record review? Why do we all feel that medical record review is important? A lawyer is someone who has the ability. All of you all will agree with me. As lawyers, you all have the ability to change injustice to justice and weaknesses into strength. Now, why does medical record review play a very important role in a case or in a particular draft? Now, in medical malpractice or maybe negligence or a mass tort or personal injury cases, the validity of the claim is established through examining the medical records. It requires that these records are thoroughly analyzed by the attorney. No, you have to go through the details in a very minute manner, and once the attorney analyzes it, then he can go ahead and litigate the case, but it requires equal expertise and proficiency. No one who is a layperson you can't expect a layperson to go ahead and review a medical record, because it is definitely complex. So if we see here, a complete and a thorough or an accurate medical review is the backbone of a medical legal case proceedings. The most important or the crucial piece of evidence which can be a turning point in a case is contained in the medical review or medical records. And this entire process of retrieving, organizing, and analyzing medical records is definitely very challenging, because medical records, we all know, are extensive. They are complex. It has got a lot of medical terminologies, a lot of detailing that requires expert advice. It requires someone who knows the medical field in a better manner, who can examine it. Now here we see what are the difficulties that usually a law firm or a lawyer faces when it comes to reviewing a medical record. Numerous volume in an unorganized manner. When a plaintiff sends us a medical record, it is just not maybe 100 or 200 pages. It is enormous volume, and it is also in an unorganized manner. So it needs to be organized. It has to go. We have to make sure that we have the correct data. Ruling out other responsible factors. That is again another difficulties or hindrance while reviewing a medical record. Relevancy of medical records. Complicated situations in the medical course. There are situations that a plaintiff goes through when during the course of medicine. It is very time consuming, because if you have extensive medical records with you, to review it, to go through every page, go through every records, do it in a chrono manner, yes, it is very time consuming. Expertise in the medical field. And as I mentioned earlier as well, as a layperson, for us, it becomes difficult to go through the medical records and get the exact advice or the opinion. So expertise in the medical field is one of the difficulties or objections that we face. Then finding out the lags or missing records. Now, what are the types of medical legal cases that we receive, that Neuro-IT receives? So here we have listed a few cases or types that we receive normally. 1, auto accident, general negligence, dog bite cases, medical malpractices, nursing home negligence, mass traught injury, delayed labor, fatal injuries, slip and fall, wrongful death. Now, when it comes to Neuro-IT, yes, we all know that Neuro-IT reviews medical records. But what are the type of products that Neuro-IT prepares? Hyperlinks timeline chronology, detailed narrative summary, focused and customized narrative summaries, billing summaries, settlement matrix, range of motion chart, pain medication chart, pain and suffering chart, medical expert opinion, lifestyle impact report, future medical expense, disability course interpretation, cast of character, index of medical records, and last, we sort and arrange medical records. Now, what are the services that is offered by Neuro-IT? Bookmarking and tagging, analyzing, because as we all know, it is very important that the medical records are analyzed in a proper manner. So our team of experts, medical experts, do the analysis. Then they also identify the missing elements. Now, it's not necessary because there are, the record that has been received by the plaintiff is, around 1,000, 2,000 pages. It will have all the information. There could be certain incidents or certain elements that are missing, which can be identified only by the experts. The experts will also identify the validity and the eligibility. And the last, yes, expert opinion. Now, what is the workflow in personal injury? I mean, what is the manner in which Neural IT works or helps you with the medical record review? Now, the workflow is divided into 7 steps. First, creation of the case. So once you send across the medical records to our team, the team will go through it, analyze it, go through, do all the groundwork, the research, everything. Then they create the case. Once the case is created, the team will send that draft across to the law firm. And once the law firm checks the draft, goes through whatever has been prepared, we receive your feedback. So if there is any changes that needs to be done or any amendments that needs to be done, the team will do that. Once we have prepared the template or the draft, after receiving the feedback, we complete the case. After completion of the case, we just do not deliver it to the law firm with whatever has been incorporated, every change that is done, because one of the most important things is just not to do the work, but do quality work and deliver quality work. So the 4th step that we see here is quality check. So after the completion of the draft, we have our team, our specialist, who will check the quality of the draft that is done. Only once the quality check is done will the final draft be delivered to the law firms. And the delivery happens via Entrust. Now, Entrust is an in-house portal for Neural IT. I will explain you about Entrust in the next few slides that we will have. So the final delivery is done, and once the case is delivered to the law firm, then we close the case RN and it goes for billing. So this is how the workflow we work, and these are the process, or it is done in this manner. Now here you can see the timeline. It's a sample that we are showing you here. The timeline chronology. This is how the sample looks like. You have the date, the event, and then you also have the facility or the source. Narrative summary. Now, when we talk about narrative summary, you will see here the sample that shows here is a detailed summary about what exactly happened with the plaintiff. You have the date, you have the information about the pre-incident, what exactly happened, a detailed note about the incident, what happened after, the post-incident evaluation and the treatment. And with the narrative summary, our team will also include the narrative summary illustration. The illustration obviously gives a better impact, more impact to the narrative summary. And these illustrations, so the images, are prepared by our in-house team of graphic designers. Next, we have the billing summary. The billing summary remains optional. There are certain law firms who would like us to include the billing summary, so we do that. There are certain firms who have their own templates where they do not want the billing summary. So this remains optional. As I mentioned, we customize the medical records as per the requirement of the law firm. So if you mention and tell us that you would like to include the medical billing summary, then this is how the billing summary looks like. On the left-hand top corner, you see the details about the plaintiff, the patient. Then you have the date, you have the medical facility or the medical provider. Then we have the type of report, which is the billing record. Then you have the events, procedures, or the intervention. Then the charges. For each event, what were the charges incurred by the patient? And then we have the date. Now, what is your benefit to work with Neural IT? Obviously, that's the most important question. How is taking assistance from Neural IT, or if Neural IT has to assist my law firm with medical records, how is that going to benefit me as an attorney or as a law firm? So here we have a few points. The first is secured web-based technology. Now, Neural IT always believes, to make sure that all the information that is communicated or transmitted is secure, because they're all confidential information about the patient, about the incident. So it needs to be, transmitted via a very secure channel. So we make sure it is done through a secured web-based technology. Then medical expertise, as I mentioned earlier, IT has a team of finest medical experts who are going to help you with a detailed medical record review. Multiple revisions and updates possible. It's not necessary that once we have prepared the draft and sent it across to you, there is no change that will be done. If there is any changes, any revisions, or any updates that you need to put or insert, you can just pick up the phone, you can let us know, you can also communicate to us via Entrust, which is our portal, and our team is ready to go ahead and incorporate every change that you ask us to do. Then customized deliverable. Again, every law firm has its own pattern. Neural IT has its own template or format in which we work, but there are law firms who have their own templates. They would like a certain templates or a certain formats to be followed. So we customize or deliver the cases as per the requirement of the law firm. As and when you want to make a change, you can connect with us and we will go ahead. Our team is capable enough to customize all the deliverables. Round the clock support. We make sure that we are available for our clients and for our team is available for you all round the clock. Whenever you need assistance, you need to make any changes, you just need to pick up the phone or communicate to us via our Entrust, and we will be there to help you and assist you. Transparency and timely communication. As at the start of our webinar, I mentioned that the most important factor in a attorney-client relationship is a good communication. Neural IT also believes that it is very important to have transparency and a timely communication between Neural IT and all its clients. We make sure that everything is transparent between our client and Neural IT, and communications are made in timely manner so that we deliver the case to you on time, which benefits you. Cost effective. Neural IT is cost effective because you will see this when we come to the next slide where we discuss and speak about the rates. And yes, Neural IT helps you and make sure that we are cost effective to help you benefit it, and it saves time. We know that all these medical records are extensive. They take a lot of time. So if you have an in-house team, it is definitely going to take a lot of time of yours to go through each and every report, every document that's been sent by the client. But here, with the assistance of Neural IT, you're going to save a lot of your time. Technology. Entrust. As I said, Entrust is an in-house portal that Neural IT uses. Entrust is a HIPAA and a GDPR compliant portal. So we make sure that we take care of the compliances. Logging or registering into Entrust is complimentary. It has always been complimentary. It will continue to remain complimentary for you. So before you go ahead and add any case to your, once you decide that yes, I will, I want Neural IT to assist my firm, and I want to get started, you just need to register yourself on Entrust. So the registration remains free. Entrust has got a lot of features, but right now I'll just take you through a couple of them. But yes, when we have a one-to-one conversation, I will take you through a detailed demo about Entrust and take you through every other feature. Now, in Entrust, you have auto-generated reports with the statuses to determine the progress. It also customizes the reports as per the client's demands. Whenever you need to communicate with the team, you just need to come onto your account on Entrust. It's like a chat that we usually use on Facebook, where you just chat with the team. You upload the documents, the medical records, and the team will pick it up from there. They are notified, and the team also communicates to you, tells you about the estimate delivery. They tell you how long they're going to take, and you send your approval to the team. Everything will happen via Entrust itself. Now, pricing and rates. Medical record review is an hour. Now, we charge this particular service as an hourly basis, on an hourly basis. Now, when we talk about hourly basis, it is a prices that starts from $25 per hour, and yes, it can be customized as per your requirement. So $25 is our standard fee, charges per hour, but we will be, depending upon your requirement, depending upon how you want to go ahead with it. Once we sit together on a one-to-one, we can customize and go ahead with the charges as well. And after this particular webinar, our team is going to send you a sample of the medical record as well as the rate chart, so you can go through the rates and the pricings. And yes, with this we come to the end of our today's webinar, that is Supercharge Your Medical Records. I hope that whatever we spoke, the information that we've given has been beneficial for you and for your law firm. Here you would see that there is a promo code that we are giving you all. So because you'll have taken your time, you have been a part of this webinar, waited till the end, we would be giving you this benefit, but this particular promo code is valid only for 24 hours. That is from today 3 p.m. till tomorrow 3 p.m. The benefit that you get is you will be getting 2 mass tort cases. If you have mass tort cases, 2 mass tort cases will be done for you free of cost. And if it otherwise, up to 100 pages for chronology and narrative summary will be done free for you. So please do go ahead and take the benefit of this promo code. Here is the link to our application Entrust. But again, you do not have to make any notes right now, because as I said earlier as well, you will be given handouts. Our team will reach out to you, send you the sample along with the rate chart, which will also have the link to our application Entrust. Registering to Entrust is absolutely simple. It's very user friendly. It will hardly take around 3 to 4 minutes for you to go ahead and register yourself onto Entrust. But yes, at any point in time, you need my assistance. You want to know how Entrust works. We have our demo, a small video on Entrust as well, which will help you to see how to go ahead and register, how to add cases. But yes, if you at any point of time have any difficulties, you can just pick up the call, and our toll-free number is 844-648-8326. You can also reach out to us via email, that is info@neuralit.com. At this point in time, we come to the end of the first part of our webinar, because now we're going to move on to the second part of the webinar, which is the question and answer session. And I believe, Jacinda, we have received a few questions and queries from our client. Jacinda will take me through, the questions that have been, received by the attendees, and I will go ahead and try to answer as many questions as possible. But yes, because of time constraint, if I'm not able to answer all your questions, or if there's any questions that you would like to discuss after the webinar, as you have the details here, please pick up your call and pick up the phone, call me, and I will be there to assist you with, and I'll take you through all your questions. But yes, right now we go to the second part of our webinar, which is the Q&A session. And Jacinda, do we have any questions? I do believe we have.
Yes, Mary, we do have a few. So the first question is, how much time is required for completing a medical record review?
Okay. Usually it depends upon the requirement. But yes, to just give you an idea, a team is able to complete around 40 to 60 pages per hour when it comes to a mass draw case. And if it is for chronology and narrative summary, then in an hour we complete around 25 to 30 pages. Yes, once we have the case assigned, the team will first go through the number of pages. They will check the relevant pages that we have, and according to that, they will let you know the date of delivery, the cost, and how much is the cost, and how much is the turnaround time. Only once we receive an approval from the law firm will the team start working on it. So you will be getting an estimation beforehand. So just to give you an idea about it. Yes, definitely.
Second question we have is, how can we share the medical records?
Okay, so yes, again, as we covered this question during the webinar, and I mentioned all our communications, all work-related communications, documentations, everything are done only and only via Entrust, which is our HIPAA and GDPR compliant application. Neural IT does not sending or communicating, sending across these confidential documents via emails. So we prefer it is all communicated or sent across via Entrust only. Yes, next question, Jacinda.
The third one is, how can you get the review done as per your criteria?
That's a good question. All right, now there are a number of law firms who again have a very specific format. Now, when we spoke, in the slides earlier, also when we spoke about customizing or customized deliverable. So there are law firms who have their own specific format. They require a certain things. They do not require a certain thing. So in this case, if you provide us with a template or a format that you use, then our team will go ahead and replicate. Or that's the first option. Otherwise, the second option is we will share the sample work, send it across to you, and then you can go ahead and let us know how and what you need to customize, how you want to do the editing or the amendment, and our team will go ahead and do that as well for you. So you have two options here. You can choose whichever you're comfortable with. All right, Jacinda, I've got time now. More questions. So do we have any further questions, Jacinda?
Yes, we do have. And the fourth one is, what are the cases that are reviewed under medical record?
Okay. Now, usually under medical records, we, personal injuries, we have medical malpractices, and mass tort law firms. So these are the law firms or firm domains that usually review come across or give us cases for medical records. But in the recent years, we have also directly started working with medical doctors. Even if your law firm is not from any of these arenas, not from personal injury, not from mass tort, you can still try us out, and if you feel yes, because I believe that yes, definitely add value to your law firm. So yes, you can still try us out and it will definitely help. All right, so one last question, Jacinda, for today.
Okay. The last one is, how is the confidentiality maintained?
As mentioned in the initial stage when Jacinda gave an introduction, that Neurality is HIPAA and GDPR compliant. So that is the confidentiality. Uh, Neurality is not only HIPAA and GDPR compliant, but we are also ISO 27001 2013 certified. So we make sure that we adhere to all the compliances, and that's how we operate for maintaining all the confidentiality. All right, so I think we are done here and not taking much more time. Um, I could answer only these many questions, but yes, if we have any more, please reach out to us on our email or call me on the toll-free number. I will be waiting for your call and we can discuss further. But yes, once again, before we sign off, thank you for joining us today and being a part of this webinar. And I hope and believe that this webinar has been informative for you and will definitely add value to your law firm. Thank you once again. Have a wonderful day.